Good evening. Good evening. Welcome back to the live stream. Welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing? Today is Easter Sunday, Sunday, April 5th, 2026. We are beginning a new week in the markets, whether that's crypto, whether that's the stock market, whatever you like to follow. We're beginning a new week. It's a lot going on as usual. You know, a lot of things going on around this holiday time. I don't think nothing is random, but we're going to get into it. Appreciate y'all joining. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, share the video, and just vibe out with me. So let me get a quick roll call. What's up, Jay Manson? What's up, Dorelli? Appreciate y'all joining, right? Appreciate y'all joining. Let me get a quick roll call. We're going to go over the markets. We're going to go over the headlines, some headlines that I think that are interesting. I'm gonna tie in the broader market. All right, I'm gonna tie in. You know, we're going to pretty much follow the money. That's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the money. What is smart money doing right now, right? What is smart money doing right now? We're talking about the Iran war. I think the Iran war is going to escalate and continue to go on. I honestly think there's no end in sight, not currently, but they're stalling out, right? I think they're stalling out. What's up, TZ? Appreciate you joining, right? Appreciate y'all joining. We're trying to stay in tune with the overall markets and the broader markets. Right now, I got a little a matrix up, a grid of different markets that I like to follow. I like to follow the futures markets. I like to follow, you know, currently I'm following oil. I'm looking at Bitcoin. So I do touch crypto. We're looking at crypto. I'm looking at gold. Some key things I'm looking at is oil. Oil opened up at around $112 per barrel. It gapped open higher, so oil is currently bullish. What's up, AWB? Appreciate you joining. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe. We got oil trading at 112. You know, the higher oil keeps going up, it's going to put strain on the economy, right? We're going to look at the treasuries because if you don't know, I did a live stream last night. One of my lessons. I think they're one of the key lessons that you should go follow. Let me see right here. So if you come to my YouTube channel, right, this one right here where I talk about all the markets are connected, I give a broad brush perspective of the financial system, and it starts with the treasury market, which is the debt market. And I think it's a good educational video. If y'all haven't watched none of these series, this is a series that I'm doing. It's continuous, 2026 free courses. I'm going over how I pretty much view the market from a technical perspective. But make sure y'all come over here and subscribe to my channel. If y'all want to tap in with me on Patreon, y'all click the link in the description. I am going to be revamping the Patreon. I'm going to make it more accessible to people that just want to join a community, right? And then I'm going to have my lessons, and then I'm going to have my mentorship. So if y'all want to tap into Patreon, y'all make sure y'all click the link in the description. And also come over here and subscribe to me on X. This is my X account. This is where I pretty much kind of have my thoughts and my opinions, and I show my trade examples. So if y'all want to do that, y'all come over here on X and subscribe to my X. But let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, right? Subscribe to all my platforms. Let's come over here and look at some of the headlines that I've been seeing. There's a lot going on. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna look at some TikTok videos. But one of the main things I want to talk about first, let's see, whole lot of stuff going on, right? Whole lot of shit. Where's Donald Trump, right? Let's bring Donald Trump to the front of the congregation because Donald Trump, he's kind of unhinged right now. He's making threats. He's disrespecting cultures. And hey, that's the United States president, right? Tuesday at 8:00 p.m. So breaking news, President Trump drops the hard deadline. So then we already have a deadline and we didn't do nothing with it. Just a few weeks ago, Donald Trump gave Iran 48 hours, but we didn't go through with that, right? So whatever. Now we have a new deadline. He's not playing. Donald Trump, he's not playing according to him. Tuesday, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Iran is on Trump time. That's what the media is saying. All hell set to break loose. So if that's going to be the case, y'all can expect higher prices with oil, right? Any little strike, I feel like any major strike over there in Iran is going to shoot up the price of oil, which is also going to put pressure on the global economy. A lot of things going on right now. Breaking news: Russia announces that all future oil and gas deals with Europe will be priced in the Chinese yuan. Have y'all seen that? Huh? That's Russia saying, "Hey, all future oil and gas prices with Europe." You know, Europe right now, they're having a lot of they're dependent, right? I'm gonna say that the European nations are dependent on foreign resources, and they are heavily dependent on foreign oil. They don't produce their own oil, so Russia kind of putting them in a chokehold. That, and to be honest, y'all let me know in the chat. Is that an act of war? You know, is that like, hey, why are you doing that? You know, that's an act of war. How are you gonna make us price? How are you gonna price oil and gas in Chinese yuan? And we already know the global oil is priced in dollars. So to me, that's going to rise tension. We could see, if they do this, we could see oil go crazy. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Let's continue. Breaking news. Iran has warned, once again, this ain't the first time I've seen this. Iran has warned it could target undersea cables in the Persian Gulf, a move that could disrupt global internet connectivity. So I keep seeing that keeps popping up. You know, if we go offline, you know why, right? You probably know why. I'm trying to get to what Donald J. Trump, whatever he said. Let's see. I'm gonna come back and watch some of these headlines. Let's see. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe. I appreciate y'all joining. We're gonna tie this into the markets, right? We're gonna tie this into the markets. Let me see. Keep scrolling. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and speed this up. Let me go ahead and type in Donald Trump, right? I just kind of want to get the headline because that's like, you know, here it is right here. President Trump, Tuesday will be a power plant day, right? Tuesday, let me blow it up for y'all. Donald Trump released this morning, Sunday, on Easter Sunday. Donald Trump says Tuesday will be a power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you will be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. To me, that's off the hinge. I think he's kind of like, you know, he's crashing out a little bit. I think he's losing his mind. Open the effing strait, right? Come on now, you crazy bastards. So to me right there, I'm just kind of, let's dissect this a little bit. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards. To me, that's like throwing a temper tantrum, right? To me, that's a temper tantrum. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you will be living in hell. Just watch. To me, that's somebody who's not getting their way. That's somebody who's kind of throwing a temper tantrum, right? And we know as long as that strait is closed, it's putting pressure on the economy. It's also kind of like, it's kind of making Donald Trump look bad as well, because it's like, damn, motherfucker, we didn't actually be in this war. We didn't actually get drugged into this war, but look where we at now. Open the effing strait. So to me, that's the sign right now. It's all over the internet. Look, somebody highlighted it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards. I probably should have named my live stream "Open the effing strait," right? So that's crazy to me. Let me see. Let's come back to the news, right? So what y'all thoughts on that, man? What y'all think about that? Let me look at some more headlines. There's so much I can talk about right now. Let me see. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest. And I can't touch on everything. Breaking news. War in Iran is reaching a very dangerous point. Trump has given a final 48-hour ultimatum to Iran, but Iran is not ready to surrender. The next 2 days are going to be crucial, right? And he's talking about Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Why tell your enemy what you're going to do? Why show your hand? You know, we playing cards. Why show me your deck of cards, right? And you don't know what I'm working with. But we gonna see, right? We gonna see AWB. Oh, you already answered. Okay, sup. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Let me get a quick roll call if y'all just joining. Make sure y'all subscribe. I can't iterate that enough. Subscribe to the channel. I'm getting the views. I'm not getting y'all to subscribe. Breaking news. Trump tells Fox News he believes a deal with Iran could be reached by tomorrow. That was 10 hours ago. And then, okay, you go from threatening them, then saying, hey, a deal can be made. So It's kind of all over the place. It's kind of bipolar. Um, a major disaster. So this is what I was seeing. Excuse me. What happened today in America, and this was on the 4th, this was yesterday. What happened today in America is practically a military coup. Now, I can't confirm nor deny this, so everything I'm saying is just treat it with a grain of salt. It's the internet. I'm not joking. More than 30 generals, and y'all can let me know, right? I don't know. I'm just reading what's online, right? Nothing is real or fake. I don't know. More than 30 generals refused Trump's orders for a ground invasion of Iran. So far, 12 of them have been dismissed, including the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. So here's a few photos of the people, the generals that say, hey, we're not doing this. We're not doing a ground invasion because guess what? It could potentially be disastrous. And also, we do have ground troops on the ground. Let's see. What else? U.S. and Israel bomb petrochemical facilities in Iran. The West is a terrorist empire. That's somebody's opinion. But hey, we're bombing infrastructure over there in Iran. And if we're bombing petrochemical facilities, well, let's look at the price of oil. Let's go look over there. Oil opened up $112 per barrel to open up the week. If you don't know, I'm bullish on oil. I have been for several weeks. I'm looking for where the liquidity is. There's a lot of buy side liquidity above us. I can see oil right here. See this swing high back from January 2022. Oil is probably going to go to right here, $130 per barrel. If oil goes to $130 per barrel, that's going to put a massive strain on the economy, right? I don't think we're ready for it. And then what if it goes up there and sustains itself? That's not going to be a good look. Right. And after $130 per barrel oil, I got it going to $150 per barrel. And look, we've been holding. If you go back and watch my previous live streams, or if you watch me on my previous live streams, we've been holding this bullish posture for weeks now. Let's go down to the weekly. Why don't you look at this? For y'all that understand the type of analysis that I do, and you understand that the markets aren't random. These markers are coded and they're programmed. You should understand you don't have to do too much speculating when the markets are programmed and algorithmic. That's the cheat code right there. Once you understand the algorithm behind the market, which is price, then you can understand where price is going to go, right? So past few weeks, I highlighted this area in the market. Y'all in the chat, what is this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat. What is this area in the market right here where we have these two candles? They don't overlap. The bodies don't touch each other. They leave a space in price. What do we call that in the chat? Let me know in the chat. What is this right here? I'm going to highlight it for you right there. And you tell me if this shit is random or not. Huh? You tell me if it's random or not. And I'm going to give you some more about it. That's why I'm saying oil is going to $200 a barrel, unfortunately. Darrelly, that's a volume imbalance. Yes, there you go, Darrelly. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. That's a volume imbalance. AWB, volume imbalance. So there's no really, if you've been with me, right? If you've been with me and you're a ride or die with my content, right? And you understand where I come from when it comes to these markets, there's nothing, you cannot deny this right here where we create the volume imbalance. The next week we trade down into it. Feel the goddamn volume imbalance, right? We feel it. All right, we close. So these past few weeks, they've been kind of like a lot of narrative has been going on, a lot of pump faking, a lot of, oh, we're going to cut a deal. Oh, we're going to attack you. All this back and forth narrative. Whole time I'm knowing that's all smoke and mirrors. I'm already knowing we're going higher. Look, the next week we trade down. Oil this week right here on this candle right here, it went down to $84 a barrel, way down here, right? And then it went back up and it closed at $101 a barrel. And then just last week, we opened up right here. We opened up at $102 per barrel. We trade right down into the volume imbalance. Can't make this shit up, bro. Can't make it up. If I draw Fibonacci on the volume imbalance from the high to the low, you can see how price uses specific levels, and then it rallied higher. It went down to $96 a barrel last week, and it went up. It created a high last week of 113, and it closed at 112. Here we are. We just opened up the week, right? And it could still be volatile. What you want to do is you want to notate this volume balance right here. You see that? You want to highlight that. You want to notate that right here. Volume balance right there. Boom, right? It could be so volatile where it could wick down here, right? And find another leg. You know, it can wick down here, find support. That'll be a buying opportunity for people that's speculating on oil. They can buy it right here at a discount and then it comes back up. But I'm bullish. I don't want to, I know that sounds fucked up, right? I don't want to see oil go higher and destroy the economy, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Let's make money on it if you can. If you can profit from it, why not? So I don't want to see oil come back down here because I got a bullish posture on oil. I don't want to see it come back down here to this volume imbalance. I can see it trading down. Open it up and continuing to go higher. But if it decides to come down lower, well, we know where it most likely wants to go. Just like right here, trade it down into this volume imbalance. So bullish on dollar, I could see it coming up in the month of April, $130 per barrel. In the month of April, going into the summer months, I feel like in the summer months, they're going to put a lot of pressure, a lot of strain on the economy, right? Just get ready for it. We're already seeing it. I'm going to go over some videos. We're going to look at the people. We're going to see what the people got to say right now. How is it impacting transportation? How is it impacting food? How is it impacting everything? They're going to continue to push oil higher. And then, you know why it's going to go higher? Because the Strait of Hormuz is closed. It's putting a strain on oil shipments and everything else coming from that region, right? And you see the reaction from Donald J. Trump. Open the effing strait. You effing bastards, right? This is his words, right? We didn't hear him say it, but this is what he posted. It'll never be removed from the internet. So that's what he posted. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. This right here, 23 hours ago, about a day ago, Fed bought 14.7 billion in T-bills this week. All right. So the Federal Reserve buying T-bills. The Treasury bought 15 billion in T-bills this week. China injected 1.3 trillion yuan in liquidity this week. Treasury injected 92 billion into the economy this week. Liquidity is flowing into the markets again, and the only thing stopping a pump is the U.S.-Iran war. If a ceasefire happens, this could be bullish for the markets, but I don't believe this is going to happen, right? This is a crypto guy, first of all. I don't think this is going to happen. I think the markets are going to continue to stay bearish. They're going to continue to escalate the war, and there is not going to be a deal. If there was going to be a deal, it would already happen, in my honest opinion, right? I think Iran is dug in, and it's not going to happen. Just then, President Trump threatens to blow up everything and seize Iran's oil if a deal is not reached. So it's this back and forth game. Give us a deal, or then, you got into 8 o'clock p.m. Tuesday, or we're going to blow everything up, right? So mixed bags. Breaking news, BlackRock is selling Bitcoin aggressively ahead of the U.S. futures open. So again, BlackRock behind the scenes, moving money around. A lot of headlines, y'all. A lot of headlines. Trump didn't start the Iran war to destroy Iran. He started it to save the U.S. dollar. That's an interesting take. Before the first bomb dropped, the petrodollar was visibly falling apart fast. Saudi Arabia publicly said for the first time since 1974 that it was open to settling oil in other currencies. Then the action followed. China and Saudi Arabia signed a 50 billion yuan currency swap. Saudi Arabia joined Enbridge, the system built explicitly to bypass SWIFT in the dollar. The original 1974 petrodollar agreement was allowed to expire without renewal. India was buying Russian oil settled in rupees and yuan. 1/5 of all global oil trade was already settling outside of the United States dollar in 2023. We talking about BRICS, right? BRICS was doing their thing, and then we kind of the dollar share of the global reserve had fallen to a 30-year low. The petrodollar was dying already. To understand why this matters, you need to understand what the petrodollar actually is. It is a protection deal. In 1974, Kissinger flew to Rhodesia and made a secret agreement with King Faisal. Saudi Arabia's prices oil in dollars and recycles profits into U.S. treasuries. All right, we already know about the OPEC deal or whatever. We know about that. The arrangement gave the United States or Washington something extraordinary, a permanent buyer of its debt, the ability to borrow cheaply and run deficits indefinitely while maintaining the world's reserve currency. For 50 years, Gulf states believed this was a partnership. It was not. It was leverage. And when Gulf states started buying their own exits, that leverage had been demonstrated again. On February 28th, 2026, the demonstration began. Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Kuwait has no bypass pipeline. Qatar sends 93% of LNG through it. Saudi Arabia exports 5.5 million barrels per day. And multiple Gulf energy companies declared force simultaneously for the first time in history. Oil hits $120 per barrel. Refineries were shut down. And this is a long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but y'all get the picture, right? Y'all understand the history. If you understand history, you understand. That's that. We understand what's going on and what led up to what's going on right now. Do you understand why Trump keeps extending deadlines and people calling him weak? They said 48 hours, then 10 days, now 48 hours again. That's what I was saying. We said 48 hours a few weeks ago, and then 10 days later, we're going to give them another 48 hours. The media says he's blinked. Here's what they're not telling you. Between the first and second deadline, okay, now, I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny whatever I'm about to read. Between the first and second deadline, which was the first 48 hours and the new 48 hours, 7,000 troops was deployed to the Middle East. Between the second deadline and now, 82nd Airborne put on alert. USS George Washington Bush carrier strike group ordered to the Gulf. Ground capable forces arrived in Iran doorstep March 30th. B-2 bomber struck nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer. We had a lot of events, right? A lot of events. He wasn't extending, he was loading. That's what they're saying. Every day of talks was another day to move assets into position. That's what we've been seeing. We have the pieces over in the Middle East now, right? We got all these units. Everything's ready to go. Here it is. Now look at the timeline, y'all. Look at the timeline. Let's do a hypothetical. Let's do some theory. Let's say we go ahead and invade this month, right? That's perfect time. And look at this beginning of the month. Let's see if they take action this week, right? The top of April, the beginning of the second quarter of the year. Let's see if they take action. If they take action, oil is shooting up. Economy gonna get worse. All right, oil is gonna shoot up. Economy is gonna get worse. Look what I seen, y'all. Crazy. Germany is not allowing men between the age of 17 and 45 to leave the country for more than 3 months without permission. What are they expecting? Y'all let me know in the chat. What's y'all theory on this? What y'all think about this? Germany is not allowing their men between the age of 17 and 45 to leave the country without permission, right? So what is Germany hinting at? What are they trying to say, right? What is Germany getting into? What is Germany getting into, right? What are they signaling? What are they signaling? Let me see. Draft for the men in Germany. Yep, I agree with y'all, man. And if you don't think it's coming to America, I think you're highly mistaken. 12 hours ago, prices increased since the start of the Iran war. Jet fuel. So I'm going to name a few things since the Iran war began. Jet fuel is up 95%. Sulfur, 73%. Heating oil, 68%. Crude oil, 66%. European natural gas, 57%. Brent crude oil, 50%. Diesel, 49%. Urea, 48%. Gasoline, 43%. Fertilizer, 31%. Palm oil, 20+%. That's all the commodities that have increased in price since this global war has been going on. So y'all look out for this tomorrow. Donald Trump will hold a news conference with the military in the Oval Office on Monday, 1:00 p.m. We're going to be looking out for that. We're going to be paying attention to that. I'm not expecting much, but hey, they're announcing it. It seems he will be making a very important announcement that might have an impact on the whole world. So we'll look out for that. Of course, over the weekend, we're getting signs that they have shot down some aircraft. I can't confirm nor deny. You already know how that goes. Just in massive nightmare scenario, shot down occurred during rescue operation for the second F-15. So they saying multiple F-15 aircrafts got shot down between U.S. Special Forces and IRGC, right? So we'll see about that. This is like a footage I can't confirm nor deny. Y'all let me know if it's real or not. Y'all let me know if it's real or not. I'm gonna play the video. So there y'all go. That's footage, alleged footage, right? Alleged, right? I can't confirm nor deny. To me, it looked kind of real, but you know, I'm not picking no sides or nothing. I'm not picking no sides. I'm just going through the headlines and what's going on, right? I'm just going through the headlines and what's going on. So let's take a quick shift, right? Let's take a quick shift. Let's come over to the markets. I kind of want to get the markets out the way. Let me give y'all a broad scope how I view the markets right now. So it's a lot going on, right? So we need to start with the treasury market. Let's come over here to the treasury market. Primarily looking at the 30-year and the 10-year. The 30-year is a long-term treasury. First of all, I'm looking at the 30-year, 10-year treasury bonds, and I'm looking at the yields as well, their respective yields. So if we go back to about March, the top of March, right, 2026, the bonds market has been selling off, right? The treasuries have been selling off. On the left, I'm looking at the 30-year. What's up, Echelon? What's up? Appreciate you joining. If y'all just joining, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. The 30-year treasury, which is the debt market, it has been selling off. I had asked ChatGPT to describe the what's the difference between the 30-year and the 10-year. Let me get that for y'all right quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. I'm gonna tell y'all the difference between the 30-year and the 10-year. 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now. One second, y'all. Give me 1 second. So I gotta put things in context. So when I'm talking about these two bonds, I want you to understand which one is which. All right, so on the left, right, I got the 30-year. On the right, I got the 10-year. On the left, when you're thinking about the 30-year bond, right, you're thinking about inflation. You're thinking long term. You're thinking about inflation. It's a benchmark for inflation and confidence in the economy, right? It's a benchmark for inflation and confidence in the economy. The 10-year is a benchmark for the mortgages, corporate borrowing, and equity valuations, right? So we're talking about the stock market, we're talking about the housing market, we're talking about corporation borrowing, right? So if we look at the 10-year, as far as inflation, you can see that the 30-year, on the left, the 30-year has been selling off for the past month very heavily, right? We haven't seen this much pressure on this sell-off in a while. So on the left, 30-year. So whenever the 30-year treasury bond sells off, this is the United States Treasury, right? They issued the bonds and they have been selling off the debt. It has been selling off. So whenever the 30-year sells off, right here at the bottom of the screen, let me blow it up for y'all. Right? All right, so we got the 30-year. On the bottom is the 30-year yield. Whenever the treasury sells off, the 30-year yield rallies higher. They're the same thing. One is just the bond, one is the yield. So whenever the yield goes up, right, inflation is starting to money start to become tighter, right? Money becomes tighter, right? So money becomes harder to borrow. Things become tighter, right? So whenever the 30-year yield goes up, or there's two ways to look at it. When the 30-year sells off, just think of the dollar going higher. Or you can look at the yield going higher and the dollar going higher, right? Hopefully I'm not confusing y'all. But the 30-year is selling off, right? They've been selling off Who's selling the treasury? I mean, who's not buying it, or who's selling it, or simply who's not buying it? That's another way to look at it. I don't think nobody's buying the treasuries. Well, I just read something. I don't know how true it is as far as the Federal Reserve. Let me go back up. Let's go back up. Let's go back up. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. Hit that like button, subscribe. Where did it go? Where did it go? Did I pass it up? Yes, I did. Well, yes, I did. I'm looking for it right now, y'all. I'm looking for it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. I just talked about it. Here it is right here. All right. So now this is alleged. I don't know if they're buying or not, but it says the Federal Reserve bought 14.7 in T-bills this week, $14.7 billion. And they're also saying the Treasury has bought T-bills, right? So whenever they're buying it, which nobody's buying it. I don't believe this right here. I don't believe this right here. Just come to the charts. That's why you can't rely on the fucking internet. Just come to the charts. The bills have been selling off, right? So nobody's buying this. So I think there's a pause on buying, right? So it's selling off. So that's causing the dollar to rally. Let's look at the dollar, right? The dollar is starting to move higher, push higher. So if the dollar is pushing higher, is that a risk on or risk off environment? Is that a risk on or risk off environment for the markets? And what risk on means, higher dollar, lower prices. If risk off means dollar going lower, higher prices in stocks, crypto, whatever. So Dorelli, you say risk off. J Mans, you say risk on. AWB, you say risk on. If the dollar's going higher, y'all saying that's risk on. No, if the dollar is going higher, if it's pushing higher, that's risk off. That's risk off, right? That's a risk off environment. If the dollar was selling off like it did back in January, that's risk on. That means higher prices in equities and stocks and crypto, etc., and commodities. But as of lately, if we go back to January, now let's just look at the dollar right quick, right? Let's visually look at it. You see this sell off, this sell side, or this sell program in the dollar. This happened back in January, top of the year. It sold off and took out what? Liquidity. You can't make this shit up, right? Can't make it up. Look at this old low right here. It took out liquidity from 2025, liquidated it. Smart money accumulated at discount. And ever since the top of the year, January, it has been rallying back up higher. You see that? In a buy program. So when the dollar goes higher, that's a risk off environment. We have a strong dollar. We have a strong dollar. So what are we seeing in equities? What are we seeing in other markets? We're seeing a risk-off environment where they're coming down. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Let's look at the S&P. You can see they've been coming down. Risk off, meaning shorting. That's how I look at it. Whenever the dollar is strong, I'm looking to short the markets. Whenever the dollar is weak, I'm looking to buy the markets. That's what's going on. We're doing a larger perspective on the charts. We're looking at it from a larger perspective. So let's come back over to the treasuries. You can see it in price action. Same way that I teach y'all. Look at the swing points. You see a swing high down to the swing low. That's a dealing range. On the 30-year treasury, swing high, swing low. That's a dealing range. At the bottom is the yield. Swing low up to swing high. That's a dealing range. All this is right here, the 30-year is flipped upside down with the yield. The 30-year bond is pretty much flipped upside down with the yield. That's all it is. So the yield is going higher. The bond is coming lower. Whenever the yield increases, which is the interest rate, the dollar starts to gain strength. So dollar is becoming more expensive to borrow, right? It's becoming way more expensive to borrow. So it's a risk off. And it's also like a safety net. It's also like a safe haven. We got a strong dollar. Money is wanting to flow into the dollar. Whenever the dollar is bullish, everything else starts to get weaker. We can look at the euro. You can look at the euro. It's a risk off environment for the dollar. You can see the euro coming down. Let's look at this swing high right here. Back in January 2026, swing high down to swing low, right? That's the euro dollar pair. Sell program. The dollar's pushing higher, the euro's coming down. Let's look at the pound. Same thing. The pound, as the dollar gets strong, the euro comes down. I mean, the pound comes down. So you can see, we can go back to January 2026 in a clear sell program. When I draw this Dillon range, right, I'm only focused on this current range. I'm focused in on this range right here. I'm not worried about everything outside of it right now. I'm just focused on the current range. It's in a sell program. You can visually see that. So let's come back over to the treasuries. Treasury, the 30-year bond coming lower. That forces the yield, the 30-year yield, to push higher, which pushes the dollar higher. Let's look at the 30-year yield right quick. Let me see if I can blow this up. One second. Let me see if I can blow the yield up. Right here. So let's look at the yield, right? This is the 30-year yield. Because of the 30-year bond is going lower, the 30-year yield pushes up, right? Does this, y'all let me know in the chat, does this 30-year yield look similar to the dollar? Look at the dollar, right? Look how similar the yield looks to the dollar. Can you visually see it? Let me know in the chat. This is the 30-year yield. This is the dollar. Are they not the same damn chart? Are they not the same chart? They're kind of like, they're not exact or identical. Like they're not 100% identical, but you can see order flow clearly bullish in the buy program with the yield because the yield is gaining strength. Now let's look at the dollar. Isn't the dollar gaining strength? Right? Do y'all see it? Very similar, right? This is what I mean by it's all in the charts. They can't hide it from you. It's in the fucking charts. So if the yield is going higher and the dollar is going higher, I can expect lower prices in other markets like the euro, like the pound, like the NASDAQ, like the S&P 500. I can see lower prices in these markets because dollar dominance, right? The dollar is the world reserve currency. It pushes higher, but the dollar is influenced. What moves the dollar? Y'all let me know in the chat. What moves the dollar? Pop quiz. What moves the dollar? Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe if you're brand new. Subscribe to the channel. What moves the dollar? What is the dollar being influenced by? What's up, Texas Plates? What is the dollar being moved by? Come on, pop quiz. Pop quiz. What moves the United States dollar? AWB, the 10-year yield in a bond. Yes, there you go. So keep that in mind. Add this to your analysis. If you haven't been doing it, have a whole layout, a whole chart with the treasury, the 30-year and the 10-year, the 30-year bond and the 10-year note, right? And remember, when you're looking at the 30-year, you're looking out long-term. You're looking at long-term analysis with inflation expectations and confidence in the economy. And when you're looking at the 10-year, you're looking at mortgages, corporate borrowing. You're looking more like kind of short term. And there's also a 5-year, but I don't always look at the 5-year. I just mainly look at the 30-year and the I look at the 30-year and the 10-year. All right. So over here, when we're looking at the 10-year on the right, and they kind of reflect each other, the 30-year bond and the 10-year note, they pretty much step by step with each other. But when we're looking at the 10-year, we're looking at like current, what's currently going on in the economy. That's how I look at it. And you can see same thing. The 10-year bond is selling lower, or the 10-year note is going lower. And the 10-year yield is pushing higher. Similar shit. And it's the same thing. If you look at the 10-year yield, it's pushing up just like the dollar, right? You can't unsee this. You just got to understand what's going on. All the concepts still work. Everything applies. So it's in the sell program. So some type of entity out there, Federal Reserve, central banks, they're pushing the yields lower, which is forcing the dollar strength and the dollar dominance. We're inside the debt system. If you can understand this right here, you don't even have to look at no news. You don't have to keep up with no news at all. You can go to the charts. Oh, this is what they're doing with the yield and the treasury bonds and the notes. And you don't even have to keep up with the headlines. You don't even have to look at the news. You don't have to look at the news. Now, looking at the news helps, but all you got to do is come over here and look at the market, these treasuries. So it's pushing the dollar up. So now, as we get that out of the way, the dollar is bullish, in my honest opinion. The dollar is bullish. We're in a premium on the dollar. And I could see the dollar coming up and taking out buy side liquidity right here. There's an old high right here. And if the dollar continues to push up, we're going to have more pressure on the economy, right? Now, the dollar is directly correlated and tied to oil because we're using the oil petrodollar. And oil is a commodity, and the commodities are the real markets, right? These currencies that we're looking at are weapons. They're weapon systems by governments, right? And the central banks. Currencies are the weapon systems that the central banks use, right? Hopefully you understand that. So the currencies pretty much stimulate the economy. The currencies are used to stimulate the economy, right? They can use it to tighten global liquidity, and they also can use it to make debt harder to repay. They're a geopolitical weapon, right? They can use the currencies for sanctions. They can use the currencies for trade control, right? The currencies are used for economic warfare. It's an economic warfare tool. So if you're not aware that the dollar is an economic warfare tool, when it's pushing higher, right? And let's say you're just the average worker, you just go to work, you do your little investments. If you're not aware that this dollar is used as an economic tool of warfare, then you can get really hurt, right? You can get really hurt. It's also a safe haven. So it's weird with the dollar, bro. It's this system that we're living under is fucking rigged, right? It's a game, so play the game. That's all I gotta say. It's a game, so play the game. But I'm bullish on the dollar. I see it pushing higher. I can see it going for liquidity. Price always seeks liquidity at all times. They leave the liquidity in the charts, right? So as the dollar pushes higher, we're starting to see pressure on the economy. Let's look at oil again, because you got to tie the dollar into oil, especially when there's right now. A lot of times it's quiet, but as you see oil push higher, you can see the dollar pushing higher because they're directly connected until, they're not, right? Until the geopolitical environment shifts. So that's what you're seeing right now with Trump. Open the effing strait, Iran. Open the goddamn strait, or you're going to see hell tomorrow, right? In 48 hours, you're going to see hell. That's what he's telling them. And it's a battle for resources. The world we're living in, it's a battle for resources. If you got resources, you got a seat at the table. If you don't have resources, then you don't have a seat at the table. Or if you don't have more resources than us, but you got resources, we're gonna come take your shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're seeing. We're gonna come take your shit. So as the dollar pushes higher and as oil pushes higher, they're moving. They're not similar in price, but they're moving. They're connected. So as oil goes higher, the dollar gains strength, right? So just keep that in mind. Commodities are something completely different from the bonds and the currencies. Commodities are supply and demand based, and they're real markets. They have they're real commodities that impact global economies. People depend on this for power, electricity, shipment of supplies, goods, resources, etc. Right? So oil, the world will literally shut down if oil gets cut off or there's a disruption to oil. So we understand that, and that's what we're seeing. So with that being said, let me pull up this right quick. Let's go look at some. Let's come over here. Let's come over here right quick. Let's see how oil and the dollar and what's going on right now is impacting everything, right? It's impacting everything. So let's come over here. Let's look at the gas prices, right? We understand this. I'm just giving y'all a broader perspective and view of what's going on. So let's play some TikTok videos and y'all just vibe out with me. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe.
Gas prices today hitting a new high since the war with Iran began.
Oh shit! Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me or not. Let me. I gotta go to my settings right quick. 1 second. Y'all press 1 if y'all can hear me. Wait. I gotta adjust my audio settings. If y'all could y'all hear the video? Y'all let me know. Press 1 or 2. If you can't hear it, press 2. If y'all can hear me, press 1. God damn it. Y'all let me know in the chat. Okay, let me fix this right quick. 1 second. I'm about to switch over right now. All right, now let's see this. I'm gonna start this over. All right. I'm about to start over.
Gas prices today hitting a new high since the war with Iran began. $4.09 a gallon, as U.S. crude oil has surged to over $111 a barrel.
It's outrageous and it hurts in the pocket.
The ripple effects of the war now reaching deeper into the U.S. economy. Amazon joining UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service in announcing shipping surcharges. Amazon saying due to elevated costs in fuel and logistics, it will apply a 3.5% surcharge to the independent sellers who make up more than 60% of the retail giant's sales. Amazon saying when costs remain elevated, we implement temporary surcharges to partially recover those costs. Costs are also soaring in the skies. Ticket prices up as much as 15%. Airlines scrambling to deal with the rising price of jet fuel. United now joining JetBlue and bumping up bag fees as much as $10. And with diesel prices nearing all-time highs.
But the grocery prices really are obviously higher.
Experts say higher costs are coming for just about everything we buy.
It's starting to come through in a couple of food prices. Obviously, fertilizer has also been impacted and those transportation costs.
Tonight, growing concerns that a war half a world away could leave longer-lasting scars.
Do you think that those price increases are going to be temporary or permanent?
We all learned that prices often go up and they are very, very slow to come back down if they ever do come back down.
Gas prices today.
Gardeners tell me the game has changed for them dramatically. There are now fewer customers, and so they have to adapt. Every time Pablo Miranda fires up his leaf blower, it means he's burning gasoline. You see, not only does he need fuel for his truck, his tools also run on gas, and it's costing him roughly $40 more per fill-up.
To pass along the prices.
No quieren pagar. Pablo says customers struggling with their own economic challenges don't want to pay more for his services. He's already lost some clients because they themselves can't afford the extra expense. So Pablo does what Maria Valenzuela does.
Because I'm not in this area, or not live in this area, I need to drive. So I try to get in more work done during the day.
That means 11-hour work days, landscaping the same number of homes in 3 days that he used to do in 5, just to save gas. Maria is not ready to raise her prices.
I don't want it because a lot of my customers, they are retired people and they have their own issues, and for them they have the exact money every month.
Jose Cruz is in the same boat. He used to pay $40 to fill up his truck and tools. Now he says it costs nearly twice as much.
I feel bad because I don't have no money.
AAA says right now the price of gas is averaging $6.07 in San Francisco, $5.93 in Oakland, and $5.88 in San Jose. Pablo says it's simply blowing him away, so he's going to Plan B.
Electric. You want to go electric?
Eléctrico, voy a cambiar todo.
Pablo says electric might be his only way to make a decent profit these days as gas prices continue to climb. In the South Bay, Damian Trujillo, NBC Bay.
So y'all can see how small businesses are being impacted, right? Everything is trickling down. Even these small businesses, landscaping, they got to go up on their prices because, first of all, they got trucks and their equipment, the equipment that they cut grass and lawns with, they need gas, right? And then also their customers are being impacted by what's going on because I'm sure their customers got to commute to work. They gotta use gasoline, and it's cutting into the extra money that they might have. So what is that doing? It's trickling down to the landscaper where I don't really want to pay for that extra lawn service that I was getting. I'm probably used to getting my lawn cut every 2 weeks. Now I'm just probably going to get it cut every 3 weeks or every month. So now we're losing business. So it's trickling down. Do y'all not see this, right? Do y'all not see this? I know y'all see it, but I'm just saying the impacts of treasuries going higher, oil spiking higher, the dollar going higher. And when I say treasuries, I'm talking about the yield going higher, the dollar going higher, oil spiking, Strait of Hormuz war trickling down globally into the economy. We know this, but I'm just trying to show you different people that's being impacted right now. Right? Let's continue.
Customers, and so they have to adapt.
Y'all keep saying gas prices going up because we get oil from Iran. That's not how this works. Let me clear this up real quick. The United States does not rely on Iran for oil. We barely get any oil from Iran at all. Basically zero. So if we're not getting oil from Iran, why are we paying more at the pump? Good question. Because oil is not priced locally. It's priced on the global market. That means what happens overseas affects prices right here in the United States. If there's tension in the Middle East, if shipping routes like the Straits of Hormuz are at risk, even if the oil never touches U.S. soil, the price still go up worldwide. And here's what really blows people's mind. The United States actually produces a ton of oil that we even export to other countries. Yeah, you heard right. We ship our oil overseas. But here's the catch nobody talks about. The oil we produce is mostly light crude, but a lot of our refineries are built for heavy crude oil. So what happens? We export the light crude and import heavy crude oil from other countries. So even though we got oil here, we still connected to the global system. And oil companies, they're going to sell to whoever pays the most. Capitalism. So if global prices goes up, they're not selling it to you cheaper because you live in America. That's why gas prices just don't go up here. They go up all over the world at the same time. So no, it's not about we get oil from Iran. It's about the global market and you're paying the global price. For more videos like this, make sure to follow the page.
What's up, DC? DC. What's up, man? What's up? Appreciate y'all joining. But yeah, man, everything is being impacted. I'm just going through people's lives, people day to day. Let's look out there. California is ridiculous, bro. $8 per gallon. Let's go. $8.14 in California. $8.14 for diesel. $5.20 for fucking gasoline. Right? Yeah, it's getting real.
Happy Easter, happy Easter. I don't know what it is in y'all's neck of the woods, but I'm here in Virginia, area code 804. We busted out 406 this morning. Yesterday it was in the 3s, now it's in the 4. It's getting outrageous. It feels like we're going back to the day when we used to have $6 a gallon. I ain't paying that shit. I don't know about y'all. Something gotta give. But I will tell you this, I'm not a big person that does a whole lot of promoting and shit, but get on that 7-Eleven app. I'm telling you, text that 711 deal. I got 35 cents off a gallon.
I actually don't think 35 cents is making a big difference, right? Yeah, it's 35 cents, but goddamn, to be penny pinching fucking oil is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
All right, can we talk about something for just a second? I know it's Easter, but I just put gas in my car, and it is $4.29 a gallon today. It is 9:07 a.m. on Easter. I cannot believe how expensive gas is. I know everybody's having this problem, but like, what the? Are you kidding me? Like, I used to fill I have a Santa Fe, as SUV. I used to fill it up for like 50. It was 80. I don't know. Do better. That's it. Thanks. Bye. All right.
So yeah, man, people on the ground being impacted. What else is being impacted by the conflict going on? Trump lying, open that effing Strait of Hormuz, right? It's being trickled down. Let's listen to this lady right here.
Y'all, this is insanity. Paying $72. $72 in gas for my small car is crazy because I use Plus. $430.29. That's crazy. $77 in a little car is crazy, y'all. This why I can't do nothing but go to work at home. Because where can you afford to go to?
Yeah, man, people can't even afford to go to work right now. It's getting, and if oil goes up to $130 per barrel, $150 per barrel, people literally can't go to work, and you know, it's crazy. What else is being impacted? Let's look at the truck drivers, right? I mentioned the truck drivers. Let's see what they gotta say.
Bob brings tears to your eyes.
The war has caused the price of diesel to increase by about $2 a gallon. So truckers and farmers are really struggling before they can even begin their day's work to fuel up their tanks. Imagine having a row tractor. We're talking 100, 200 gallon tank. I caught up with a farmer in Vinton, Iowa, who's facing that reality every single day. Start getting nervous every time you have to fill this guy up now?
Yeah, there goes $300.
That was $300 just now. How would that have compared to before the war?
Probably a little over two, maybe less.
And how long will these $300 worth of diesel last you?
If I work all day, not the whole day. We've got 5 tractors, and our big one, you know, we'll burn a couple 100 gallons, 300 gallons a day, and that doing, you know, heavy tillage. And so we could easily go through 500 or 600 pretty quick. Bob brings tears to your eyes.
And truckers are feeling the pain too. An average semi can hold about 300 gallons in the tank. So we're talking thousands of dollars of additional costs, which for all of us is going to mean higher prices. These are not rounding errors.
Bob brings tears to your eyes.
The war has caused the...
So yeah, man, truck drivers experiencing the pain. Let me see what else can I find with these truckers, because the truckers are on the front line, right? They're on the front line of all of this. Let me see right quick. I've seen somebody pay like $1,500 at the pump, bro. I'm like, what the? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Let me see. Let me see right quick.
Here at this pilot off Interstate 70, the sign behind me tells the story. Diesel at $8.21 a gallon. Let's go to Matthew in the studio with more updates.
Real deal, go park your trucks. Nah, I'm joking, right? But nah, be strategic where you're fueling at. There's no reason to come here to Florida. You see fuel is outrageous, rates is low coming out. Our produce season is going to be trash this year because of those freezing weathers that we got back to back. So produce is not going to be the typical Florida rates that y'all used to. Mark this whole state off of your route for the whole 2026. Trust me. If you're in a place where, let's say you taking Georgia going up to PA or something, fill up in Georgia, try to duck that fuel prices up there. But my suggestion is to run the Midwest. You see the fuel is cheaper, $5.22, things like that, and the rates are better.
So that's just a little perspective of gas and fuel and oil and whatnot. Let me see what else is impacting the economy. What else is going on? People are actually out here struggling to survive as well, right? With all the things going on, people are penny pinching. People are doing what they got to do, right? Let's check it out.
I'm going to keep it a whole beam with y'all right now. I don't know how a lot of y'all surviving. Like, the cost of everything right now, I really feel bad for the younger generation because I can remember I could survive off $120 from one Friday all the way to the next Friday. Literally, I made that shit work. Don't ask me how I did that shit, but I did that shit. The cost of shit now, the people we got that are sitting in Washington, D.C., they gonna have y'all in a situation to where it ain't gonna be no catching up. It ain't gonna be, all right, you even if this shit gets back to normal, just say it even gets back to normal, when it gets back to normal, the cost of everything is gonna be so much more high to where even at that stage, you still won't be able to afford a house, a car, just the basic shit that you should be able to accept or be able to have. And then, like, I get why people are leaving the U.S. I get why American citizens are leaving the U.S. because it is a lot cheaper to go elsewhere and to have an actual life. That should not be, it should not be a option just to have the basics, to have a car, to have a job.
I just left Walmart where I bought 1 bottle of body wash, 1 stick of deodorant, and 8 rolls of toilet paper. My bill was $49 fucking dollars. $50 for 3 items. I'm getting ready to move into a new apartment. And for a 1-bedroom, 638 square feet, it's going to be $930 a month. Gas is $5 a gallon. Milk is $3.89 a gallon. And bread is almost $6 a loaf. A 24-pack of bottled water is $7 fucking dollars. And I'm at the point now to where at 50 years old, I'm trying not to crack here. I'm 50 years old, and there's no fucking way I'm ever going to be able to retire. I've had to cash in my life insurance and my 401 in order to survive. You know, after a certain amount of time living and working on this planet, you shouldn't have to work you should not have to work 2 fucking jobs just to survive. I'm so discouraged. I just left Walmart where I bought.
Do y'all hear this man's frustration? Being 50 plus years old. Now that ain't everybody's case. I understand, not everybody's case, but a mass majority of a people in America and worldwide. I agree. Nobody should be working after 50. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. And they expect us to work until you fucking die. You don't need to be that's what starts to dawn on you. Once you get a certain age and you still in the rat race and the rat race is choking you to fucking death, it starts to dawn on you that, man, I'm gonna die, right? I'm gonna fucking die soon, and I'm gonna probably die working. So this shit that we're living in is very crazy, right? It's ingenious too. Like, these motherfuckers who thought of this shit are fucking mad scientists. If you think about it, this structure, this construct, this system, serve this fucking system to die, right? So that's what some people's dilemma is, right? That's some people's dilemma.
I feel like it's getting to a point here in America where they're literally making it impossible for any of us to be able to survive. It doesn't really matter how many jobs you work, how many side hustles that you have, how many streams of income that you have coming in. It literally feels like, you know, it's kind of at a point where nobody can get ahead. People are struggling out here. People can't pay their bills anymore. People are literally living on a prayer, not really knowing how they're going to make it to like the next month. And it feels like every day that we work, we're working for less money. People don't know like where their next meal is going to come from, if they're going to have a roof over their head next month. And it's almost like there's so many people that are literally living in fear that, you know, they're willing to do whatever it takes so that way they don't become homeless. And I feel like they're making it increasingly difficult for us to just be able to live and to make it without having to sacrifice all of our time. And then there's people out here that
I'm kind of irritated because I literally just drove almost an hour to come donate plasma. Spent 2 hours inside the plasma center filling out paperwork and watching videos just for them to prick my finger and be like, my H levels or whatever are too low and I can't give a donation today. Mind you, I was depending on that donation to be able to pay my rent today. So I'm just irritated and lost today. And I'm just over it. I'm over today as a whole.
Do y'all hear this shit right here, right? People having to sell blood just to pay their fucking rent. Man, don't get me confused, y'all. I'm putting it all in perspective for y'all. I'm tying in markets. I'm tying in economics, the markets, geopolitical. I'm tying all this shit in, and I'm showing you the reality, the aftermath of all of the manipulation and inflation and the control on the system, the financial system, the debt market, the debt system. This is what debt is doing to the average person in the United States and worldwide. People having to sell plasma to pay their rent, just to eat. Right? Is that not insidious? Nobody should be working past 50. You know, at that point, once you hit 50, yeah, you want to kind of like settle down and live out the rest of your life, but you're not going to be able to afford to do it. This shit is sick, right? This shit is sick. Very sick. Let me continue to play some more videos. One second.
Y'all, I'm parked in front of Dollar Tree because I'm about to go in there and get some essentials. But before that, I honestly just had like the only crash out because I had stopped to get gas, right? And I'm really in a place in my life where I'm really budgeting my finances because I just don't got it like that. I'm in a real crunch, survival, financial fucking rut. And I know it's not forever, but this is just the chapter I'm in. And as much as I try to be positive sometimes, like it's really hard. It's really hard to be in a financial like survival mode when you don't know what your next move is. You don't know where your next resource is coming from, because it fucking makes you hypervigilant. And like when you're hypervigilant, like you can't relax, your brain can't shut off, and you can't stop worrying, and that shit just drains all your energy. Like having to worry all the time drains your energy. And I understand that like people are like, oh, pray, and don't get me wrong, I pray, but when I'm about to take a shit and I don't know when the next fucking slice of paper toilet is coming from, like, you know, that's real life 3D shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like it's a really difficult place to be in. And so with that being said, I had $25 in like my Apple Cash card. And so I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna go to the gas station. I'm gonna get $15 of gas. And then the rest, like I'm gonna take to get like a little bit of essentials at Dollar Tree. And when I asked him for 15 regular, he had put gas in my car and it charged my whole shit. And I just stood there because like, I'm not trying to crash out in front of this man, but I'm like, fuck, like I literally don't have anything else. Like my regular account is negative. Like fuck. I have no toilet tissue. I have no, like I need stuff for the house. Like I don't have water. Like I don't, oh my god. So he was like, oh, like it charges you temporarily, like it's gonna refund you. So I literally drove off and I parked on this random street and I just cried. Like I let it all out. Like I couldn't even, it wasn't even one of those like boohoo cries. It was just like one of those silent cries where like the tears just come down and you're just like overwhelmed, you just shut down. And within a couple of minutes, like I got $11 back, thank God. And so with that being said, I'm about to go into the Dollar Tree and I'm about to get, you know, whatever essentials I can with that. But y'all, this is not okay. Like this is not normal. And I share this not because I want to give a sob story, not because, you know, I'm asking for help or anything like that, because honestly I'm a person that has a very hard time receiving help, and that's not even like my gist. It's just to shine a light for other people that are going through this shit, because I know that I'm not one of one. And it's not even like, oh, you can tell somebody like get a job. Most of the jobs right now, are not paying enough for you to cover rent, for you to cover bills, and for you to be able to live. You know what I'm saying? Like it's insane. And I don't know where anybody else lives, but I live in New Jersey. It's super fucking expensive on like the Northeast. Like it's the fact that other people live like this, because like I said, I know I'm not one of one. This shit is insane. And the fact that like it's only gonna get worse and this economy is only getting worse. Like I understand, like I said, this is just a chapter. Like I'm in my last year of grad school, so I know I'm gonna have a career next year. But the fact that like not many people are in my position and probably, you know, like have kids, have way more responsibilities than I do, and they have to live like this, it's fucking horrible and it's depressing. And I think a big issue with like mental health and depression in this country, it's probably because people can't take care of themselves, and people know that. It makes you feel like a second-class citizen. It makes you feel like shit. It makes you feel like a bad person, and it makes you feel like you're not enough, and that's a shitty feeling.
Yeah, man, if y'all are in a position, right? If y'all are in a position where you know, you're comfortable, you're doing good for yourself, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, bro. TikTok is revealing. I was anti-TikTok for the longest time, but now I kind of figured out how to use it, and I'm finding real people. You can see that young lady right there going through it, right? And it's not just her. There's even people living in their vehicles, right? I'm seeing this shit. It's not, these people can't. So the media can run one thing. They can run a narrative, right? The media can run a narrative, but they can't hide real stories from real people. And people are utilizing social media to get their story out. But all of this trickles back up to the things that these people can't see, which is these financial markets. And the financial markets start with the debt market, the bonds, the treasury, the currencies, and all these things that people can't see. So if you're following my channel, which is an educational channel, I encourage you to pick up this skill set, because what if people understood how to view these markets and take action? That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help y'all figure out how to take action. And for y'all that's in my Discord, y'all can attest to this, right? A trade that goes for 20 points, that right there helps. You cannot tell me trading a micro NASDAQ futures contract or a micro S&P futures contract can't help some of these people out. Like, imagine having a job, but you're barely hanging on, and people saying, oh, it's not enough, but you can sit there and go in the market and go take out $50 here or extra $100 there. To me, that helps. And that's what I'm pretty much trying to get people to understand. Learn this skill set, because it's invaluable. Once you learn this skill, nobody can take it from you. When I talk about this skill, if y'all new to my channel, I'm talking about trading. I'm talking about technical analysis. I'm talking about taking opportunities in the financial markets. And I also promote keeping your job, staying employed. I'm not one of these people saying, hey, do this full time, quit your job and retire at fucking 40. I'm not one of those people. No, work your job, use your job as leverage, learn different skills, because y'all going to have to reskill. You're going to have to reskill yourself. And I'm sitting here promoting one way to reskill, which is learning how to trade the markets. And I don't tell you to hit home run, grand slam wins. I'm not saying, hey, take $5 to fucking $10,000 in a week. No, I promote taking the small little wins and letting it compound over time. If you got a good paying job, picking up this skill set right here can allow you to pretty much add on to what you're already bringing in. Anything extra can help. I hate to see people breaking down. People can't even afford toiletries, bro. Like, come on now, like tissue paper. But all that is also impacted by the oil market, right? Oil prices go up, tissue paper goes up. It's just crazy out here. So it's insane. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, bro. I'm just giving y'all real people's experience based on what the economy is doing and what the markets are doing. A lot of these people have no idea what's going on in these markets. What else is being impacted by the global crisis, right? Let me see. What else is being impacted? Let me see. I got TikTok pulled up. Let's play this. The housing market.
This might be one of the worst times in history to buy a property, especially if you're a first-time home buyer.
Let me see.
This might be one of the worst times in history.
War in Iran is having an impact on the U.S. housing market. Here's what's going on. I'm Brittany. I'm an anchor here at NBC5. We know the conflict in Iran is pushing up oil prices way over $100 a barrel, right? Well, when oil goes up, we start to see inflation go up. We see economic uncertainty rise, and the markets do not like that. Specifically, the bond market, which impacts our mortgage interest rates. The rates were below 6%. They had just dipped below 6% not too long ago, but now they're back up to around 6.4%. So what does that mean? We know that with higher rates, we have higher mortgage payments, and we're already starting to see buyers pull back. That's just as we were starting to see more applications for mortgages. They're dropping back off again. We know that sellers are seeing their homes continue to sit. Inventory is continuing to stack up. And if the conflict drags on, experts say that inflation could stay high, rates may remain elevated, and the housing market could be stuck much longer than folks were expecting. War in Iran.
So speaking of the housing market, right? Speaking of the housing market, I've seen an article, right? Women.
Have you ever had somebody?
One second. Okay. I've seen
War in Iran.
Wait a minute. What's going on? All right. Speaking of the housing market, right? And there was an article that I seen that women are buying more homes. Let me see if I can pull that up for y'all. Women are buying homes, and no disrespect to any women in here. Women are buying homes more than men. Women are buying homes more than men, right? Y'all go look this up. Women are buying homes more than men. Let me go to like articles or news. Let me see. 20 million single women. Check this out. Check this out, y'all. So you seen what the lady just said about the housing market, whatever, but consumers, they have no idea. So 20 million single women, right? 20 million single women now own homes, right? That's a new U.S. record. 20 million single women. America's solo female homeowners achieved this new record-breaking milestone despite a slight dip in their overall home ownership rate. Echelon. This isn't even the market to even get into housing. There you go. So that's a good point, Echelon. Do you hear what you just said? This is not even the market to even get in housing, but yet single women, over 20 million single women are new homeowners. Because you know why? It's like it's what's being promoted, the American dream, and being independent and being a feminist, right? If you're somebody who's a feminist and you're independent, you're going to want to own a home. And in their mind, I don't need a man, right? We don't need men to rise up in society. But these women, they don't have no understanding of the interest rates market. They have no understanding of the conflicts, the other things that drive the market, right? The central banks increasing interest rates, lowering interest rates, but yet 20 million women buying homes. So let's come back to TikTok, right? We come back to TikTok because this was interesting. Women bragging about buying homes. Let's see.
I need my single men to lock in because once again, these women are proving that they don't need you. According to a recent stat, single women now own almost 3 million more homes than single men. What's going on, y'all? As somebody who's been a lender for almost a decade, I have long been an advocate of buying a house as soon as you can afford it. Not only for pride of ownership, but also because over time you'll gain equity and you can later leverage that equity to make other moves. And over the course of my career, I've helped probably twice as many single women buy as I have single men. And this isn't a new phenomenon. It's been growing over the past decade with the margin getting slightly wider every year. So my question is, why? I need my single men to lock.
First time in American history, single women own more homes and have more purchasing power than single men. And if we were a country that cared about doing good, this is something that we would be proud of and bragging about. 60 to 70 years ago, women couldn't own homes in this country. They couldn't open their own bank accounts. They couldn't open lines of credit. They had to stay in abusive relationships because no fault of force was illegal. And they had to carry the babies of those abusive partners to term because abortion was illegal. And save for Dobbs overturning Roe, all of this has been overturned. Today, women are going to college at higher rates. They're graduating at higher rates. They're getting jobs out of college at higher rates. They're dating and getting married at higher rates. They're having more sex at higher rates than their male counterparts. Instead of being proud of this and using this model to bring other marginalized groups into economic prosperity, we denounce this stuff. Rather than educate young men on how to pursue and attract young women who no longer need them to survive because they have more access to wealth, resource, and education than ever before, we instill into young men that their failures are due to women's successes and other marginalized groups taking from them what is supposed to be theirs. Instead, young men are told that women aren't supposed to be working, that they're not supposed to be making money or even making their own decisions. And we even have bills in Congress to disenfranchise millions of women across the country with the SAVE Act. This would be something that every man who claims to be a protector would be denouncing, but you see very little of. Instead of championing the successes of American women in this country, young men are bitter and jealous. And just like the leadership in this country, they are led the opposite direction.
Hey ladies, I need y'all to listen up because I don't really think y'all understand this. You do not have to wait. You do not need a husband. You do not need a sugar daddy. You don't even need permission. While folks are arguing about relationships and timelines, there are women out here literally buying up the damn block. And yes, the data backs it up. Single women have been outpacing single men in home ownership for years. More women are buying homes solo. More women are building equity. More women are choosing stability over vibes. Why? Because women, we are naturally planners. We naturally pivot. We naturally like certain things to be a certain way. So we understand securing the foundation first and then decorating later. Women are out here buying with their own credit, using their own income, using their own credentials, using their own background and their own degrees. Women are literally out here locking in assets. And a lot of the times these women just jumped into it. Most women are not ready. You get what I'm saying? They just get informed. They educate themselves. They learn how to buy. Let me say this loud for the girls in the back. You do not need to be married to be wealthy. All you need is the plan and execution. So baby, if you waiting on confidence, if you waiting on a partner, a man, you waiting on somebody else to do it other than yourself, you got to stop that. Because women are closing on homes every single day. The game ain't changing. The women are. Listen, ladies, if you're...
So let's put it in perspective, y'all. Let's put it in perspective. Now, most people that say they're buying homes, they're not buying it cash flat out. They're taking out mortgages and loans, right? They're taking out debt, which remember that debt comes back to the 10-year treasury. The 10-year treasury is the measurement of the mortgages, the all that, right? So these people are claiming, hey, I'm successful because I bought a home, but you're not buying the home. You're fucking leasing. You're paying a mortgage, right? You're paying debt. You're taking a loan out on the fucking home. You're not owning the home. So there's a status in America. There's this thing amongst women that, hey, I own a home, but you don't own the fucking home. Not everybody can own a home. It's a small percentage of people in America that flat out own their home, right? So, these same people, y'all let me know in the chat, these same people that saying, hey, I'm buying a home, I got this status. Do you think it's a trap that they're walking into because they have no idea of the powers that be and the influences of that's in these markets? They have no idea. You could be buying a home right now and then it doesn't work out. It doesn't pan out like you thought it was going to be 5 years in, 3 years in. A lot of people don't get set interest rates. They get the fluctuating interest rate, right? Most people don't even know. Some people just buy a home or purchase a home and get the fluctuating interest rate, and now you're fucked because now interest rates can spike high and low every other fucking year, right? AWB, sounds like 2008 housing bubble is a close. Yeah, I agree. But again, look what I'm saying. Women are on a fucking renaissance with buying homes. Women are on a renaissance with buying homes, but they have no awareness. They have no awareness of the setup, right? They have no awareness of the powers that be, which is the central banks. So you got to be careful. So the thinking is completely different. Let's continue.
That single women report being happier than women in relationships with men.
Did you know that single women own 2.71 million more homes in America than single men? That's crazy. Especially considering that women couldn't even get a mortgage by themselves until 1974. This has been a busy 50 years, I guess. Period. Did you know?
The ignorance, right? It's a celebration. You know what I'm saying? It's a celebration, but it's not. You're not educated. I'm gonna tell you now. It's gonna fucking backfire. It's gonna backfire. Because they sold you a dream. Look at all the TV shows throughout the years, right? Look at all the Real Housewives, how people are living. Look at Instagram, right? Look at the social media. People, these women have been sitting back. Also, let's put this in perspective too. These same women, and I'm not bashing women, don't get that confused. These same women, they go to work, right? They're working their job that's not guaranteed, right? They too can be laid off. So what happens when you've been in your career path, you go buy a brand new home, and then your fucking employer lays you off because guess what? Interest rates spike higher, money tightens. So now your corporation, the job that you're working for, they got to do mass layoffs. But now you're stuck in this fucking home. Come on, man. Do y'all feel me or not? Does that make sense? They're not making... It's a trap. It's a trap, but these women are falling for it. They're falling for it. Let me continue.
I just need to brag about women for a second.
Single women now own 2.71 million more homes than single men. If you think for one single motherfucking second that what's happening right now doesn't have anything to do with this, then you are not paying attention. They are pissed. They are mad. You took your chains off. They want you to get back in the house, babe. Not your house, though. They want you back in their house. They want you giving that unpaid labor. They want you giving your best years to someone who leaves you and leaves you with nothing. They absolutely did not want us to find out that we can do this completely by ourselves and be completely at peace without a man cheating on us or beating us. And here's the truth. Capitalism does not function without slavery, period. There always has to be a group of people that are working essentially for free. So without women working for free, this doesn't fucking work. Anyways, good luck to the Republicans trying to get this cat back into the bag. We're not going. I just need to brag about women for a second.
So do y'all see the mindset? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all see the mindset? Do y'all see the mindset, right? It's a trap. It's women versus men out here. So that's a societal construct right there. Women versus men, but these women don't realize, you know, y'all are walking into a trap, right? You are walking into a setup by higher powers, which are the central bankers. Y'all have no idea because y'all want to, hey, we broke the chains from men. We're free. I'm not the type of man that want to enslave a woman, right? I don't want to enslave no woman. I want you to be free as possible, but you got to think with logic. You got to think with logic. Lenny, what you said? No comment. AWB, it's a wrap. That cat ain't going back in the bag. Yeah, man. I mean, shit. I mean, I could go, listen, I can have fun with this all day. I'm not trying to be, I can go have fun with this all day. But yeah, this is a thing, right? Women just buying in this society right now, in this economy. All I got to do is look at the charts. All I got to do is come back over here to the charts. And all I got to do is come over here and look at the 10-year treasury, right? I can just look at the 10-year treasury. Oh, the 10-year treasury is selling off. So the yield is going higher, right? So that's forcing the dollar to go higher. That means interest rates are high. They're going back up. And no, I don't want to buy a house right now. You should have probably got in the house back in back in February. It had temporarily went down back in February. So if you was able to watch these markets, you pretty much can time when it's the right time to go buy you a house and get in and get a fixed interest rate. Don't get a fluctuating interest rate. Get a fixed interest rate and you can lock that in, right? But no, most people I know, I don't know nobody who's timing the market like that. Most people I know, they settle. Like, I just need to have it right now. Give me the house right now. Echelon. And that cat gonna need every one of them 9 lives to brace for what's coming. That's what I'm saying. They gonna need every ounce of, women, if this is true, which I believe is true, because I know plenty of single women that buy houses and they're in that motherfucker by themselves. And they don't want a man living with them. And I'm not bashing women. Shout out to my women. They don't want a man living with them. They want to do it all by themselves. Hell, when shit starts, it's already happening. It's already underway. Because guess what? You're going to work. Let's just say, for example, there's a lot of women that work in the hospital. I'm just going to use that for example. A lot of women work in the hospital. They work in long hours. So these women are working 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, right? They're tired as fuck, but they're getting paid real good, but they're at the plantation. So what do? They go out and buy them a house, right? High interest rate, got to buy them a house. But now economy shift, right? Interest rates go higher. You got a fluctuating interest rate. Now oil is going higher. Now for your commute to go to work is going up in price. Also, we already know women are the biggest consumers. Women have a problem with buying out. They're consuming everything, clothes, shopping, all of this. It's going to be very tragic. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And I'm not sexist, right? Don't get me confused. I'm not sexist. Women are going to be desperate for men soon as again, right? It's going to come back around. Women are going to be very desperate for a man once times get fucking severe and very hard, they're gonna need a fucking man to come support them and help them out. Hell, it's gonna be hard for them to even pay for the lawn service, right? Maintenance, right? They barely can put oil in their vehicle. Not all women, but there's a lot of women I know that ride around with no fucking oil in their goddamn car, right? So I'm just saying, bro. Y'all can, I can see it. I can just look at the fucking chart and I can tell you what's going to happen right now. And it's crazy. It's insane, bro. It's insane. And they got us, this is the crazy part. They got us divided. We're not on the same page, right? The powers that be got men and women divided in all races, all communities, right? Some communities are tighter. I see my Spanish people, they very tight. But the black and white community, they got us divided, right? They got us divided, and it's a problem out here. And I can go all day with that. But that's another thing. This is another thing, like what's going on in the markets, what's going on in the economy. It's a trickle-down effect to all the little things. I bet some of y'all didn't think, damn, women are buying this many houses. Damn, they're going to be in severe trouble, right? It's a walking setup. It's a setup to me. And it's going to enslave them, but they think they're being free. They think because women wasn't able to vote at one point, they thinking because, women wasn't even able to buy properties. Now they're on their high horse, but they're walking into the fucking lion's den and they don't even have no idea. Have no idea, bro. And women don't need men, but they're going to need us at some point. All right, let me continue. I just had to put that out there. I had to just make note of that. That's something to look out for, right? Put that in mind. What else can I look at? Let's come back over here to X, right? I think I didn't cover everything in X. Or wait 1 second. Let me come back over here to Instagram, TikTok. My bad. What else can we cover? What else is impacting the global economy? Went over that. Economy is failing, so there's a lot of people that's just, hey, they're over it. I don't want to hit a beat a dead horse. Housing market, talked about the truck drivers. Let's talk about layoffs, right? So we got layoffs. And this is what I'm saying for those people that are buying houses, all those women, and I hate that people say, "Oh, I'm buying a house." You're not buying the house. Are you buying it cash? Are you spending $250,000, $300,000 cash on the house? That's not buying it. You are fucking leasing the house. That's what you're doing. And until you pay that motherfucking house off plus the interest, you don't own the house. So with that being said, those same women, those same people that are buying homes, not just women, you got to worry about layoffs because corporations, because of rising interest rates, corporations have to do mass layoffs. And corporations said, we're tired of doing this. We're tired of having to hire people, fire people. Let's go ahead and just automate our business. So they're using artificial intelligence and AI to start automating their businesses and robotics. So they're removing the humans, right? So if you're somebody who just bought a mortgage and you just got laid off, I understand. You got to understand macroeconomics and rising interest rates, inflation, all that, oil prices spiking. Corporations are making decisions. So let's look at some of this. Let's pay attention to some of this. Let's check it out.
Blue Shield of California, Zenith Logistics, Purdue Foods, ERN Services, Boston Electra Metallurgical Corporation, First Brands Group, Geodis, Microvision, iPick Theaters, Goulet Trucking, CJ Logistics, L3 Harris, Supernal, Heritage Bank of Commerce, Angel City Brewery, VCA Bay Area Veterinary Specialists, Monroe Operations, Meteor Creative, Viscon Air Corporation, C3 AI, Safari West, Main Street Sports Group Cincinnati, Rallies, Coppers, Albertsons, Wells Fargo, Lucid Group, Hornblower Cruises and Events, Charles River Laboratories, Westcom Financial, Bloom USA, CHS Northwest, CAT Talent, Liberty Dental Plan, GXO Logistics, Meta. These are all current jobs that are listed now on the layoff website, warntracker.com. These are new layoffs coming for April 2026. Is your company on the layoff website? You should check. 50% of companies plan on doing layoffs this year in 2026. Hundreds of companies, as you can see, have already filed warn notices, layoff notices. These companies with 100 or more employees are required to file a 60-day notice for layoff. The job market is crashing every day. Our economy is crashing every day. Our economy is in crisis, and it was in crisis before the Iran war. If you found this post informative, please like, comment.
So there you go. That was a list, a long list of freaking corporations and businesses that are doing mass layoffs, right? Because it's a lot. In some cases, corporations, they're automating, right? They're going to robotics and automation and AI. And then in some cases, some corporations are forced to do layoffs because of rising interest rates. The higher the interest rates, it becomes harder. Their profits. Hell, you got to think of from this, right? And this is how you look at it. If oil prices have risen, right? The oil prices have risen, then companies, if there's somebody who provides goods, right? You provide goods. Well, guess what? My costs went up on me shipping goods and services, right? Even if I'm providing the services, if I got a fleet of vehicles, or if I'm providing a service or a product, it's going to cost me to provide that service just based on oil alone, right? It might cost I got people that have to commute to work. It's costing them, right? So corporations, they got to make cuts so that they can continue to have their profits. They got to start making cuts, and that might come down to cutting employees. Right? Because, hey, we can't even borrow no more. We can't even borrow capital to fund our business or whatever they're doing. A lot of businesses use net 60, net 30, net 90 credit lines. So if the interest rates rise, it's harder for them to borrow money. So they're going to have to end up freaking cutting employees. Jay Manson, in a recession, women spend more money. They sure do. They're going to spend money regardless, bro. Women going to spend, it don't matter if we're in recession, it's really going to have to hit women in the gut, right? They're going to have to get punched in the gut and have a reality check, right? Meaning time, like they're going to have to really see it, like as far as like, damn, it's cutting into my I can't even eat. You know what I'm saying? It's really going to have to punch them because, hey, men, especially people that's into this right here and following money and shit and the economy, we know better, but it's sad, bro. It's sad. We all know a woman all women. I pretty much know every woman that I know got a spending problem. I don't know not one woman in my personal life that is strategic and knows smart with money. I'm just sorry. That's just my life. But hey, these corporations, they got to make cuts, right? And it pretty much comes down to laying people off. And we see mass layoffs right now. People are going to have to reskill. People are going to have to adjust. Let's continue.
Southwest Blue Shield of California. Southwest Airlines, February of 2025, 1750. Google, April of 2025, 2000.
Blue Shield of California.
I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I'm still learning it. Let's play.
Hear me out, 2027 is the year of the mass layoff epidemic in the tech industry because the tech industry has been at a downfall for quite some time and there's been a lot of layoffs in the news. For recent, Oracle, 30,000 employees recently got laid off. It was really big and they only got a 6 a.m. email. It's not new for tech companies to do this. I've had friends at Meta and Amazon and everything that a similar thing has happened to them. They don't really get a notice. They get like super early. I think the Meta one was like 5 a.m. emails. They have a bunch of layoffs. Meta has them like every other month. These companies have them like every quarter. My company hadn't even had one until this year. We hadn't had one in a long time. And we barely had our first one this quarter. And I have a feeling with the talk of AI, there's so much talk about AI in the tech world that is actually really annoying. And I have a feeling that we're probably going to do layoffs maybe quarterly, 100% again, but like maybe quarterly, maybe twice a year. But this is the year of mass layoffs because tech companies are really diving deep in this AI. Like we're creating roles that are AI deep, AI engineering roles, AI this role, AI that role. Where did these roles come from? These are made up roles. But like we're gonna be firing. I feel like majority of teams and only having certain people that know how to utilize AI, say like an engineer AI, utilize AI for more of the coding, and then just take out the rest of the eng team on whether that's monetization, whether that's ML. It's just
Pretty much mad. Damn, no sound? No sound? Damn. See, my sound was off. My bad, y'all. Fuck, I'm over here fucking up. But pretty much mass layoffs. You know, the company Oracle, they laid off 30,000 employees. I believe UPS, the postal people, here we are right here. They laid off like 40,000 people.
UPS just cut 48,000 jobs, guys. But don't worry, it's to improve efficiency, they said. Translation there, robots don't need healthcare. Okay, so what are the details of this story? So first of all, CEO Carol Tome called 2025 the year of transformation after profits dipped nearly 20% for UPS. Now, if you guys remember, there was a story about a year ago about how crazy the wages had gone up at UPS and how much money the union had negotiated for the workers to be able to make. So the details here is that it's a massive automation rollout to cut human labor. So number two is its corporate spin here is the efficiency is the real story. Profit preservation is what's really underneath that. So the union pushback is expected, but it could completely redefine logistics jobs. Now, the volume loss from Amazon pulling like so many deliveries from everything else has to have hit UPS hard, guys. If you think about it, like how many of your packages actually come from UPS anymore and how many of them come from Amazon? Because I hardly ever get anything from UPS anymore. Everything is Amazon or some other site. So most of the layoffs here, they say, are coming from corporate, middle management, and automation targeted warehouse roles. In other words, it's everybody. So you can't cut 48,000 jobs and not have it be everybody and everybody be systemic. So I'm not going to go into whose fault this is or whose responsibility this is or what's going to happen. But when you cut 50,000 jobs from a major public sector like this, it really hurts the economy, and inflation is already crazy. So let me know your thoughts, guys. How is this going to affect everything going forward? Because we're over 1 million layoffs already in 2025. UPS just cut.
So yeah, man, massive layoffs everywhere. Massive layoffs. Let me see right quick. Yeah, man, the economy, bro. We are in meltdown mode and nobody wants to talk about it. We in meltdown. Nobody wants to talk about it. That's all I'm saying. We're in meltdown mode.
Why is it that the only employees that got a heads up about the mass layoffs at Oracle were the ones in Seattle, Washington? The Warren Act. The Warren Act is what bought them a 2-month grace period to figure themselves out. And it wasn't even the federal Warren Act. So Washington State is a very employee-friendly state. And so they have their own statewide Warren Act. It's called a mini Warren, which basically says if you are going to get rid of 50 or more people at one site, you need to give them a 60-day notice. The federal law's threshold is not 50 people. It is 500 people. Oracle intends on laying off 491 employees in Washington State. So under the Federal Warren Act, they don't got to warn anyone about it. But Washington State is like, no, we think not. You need to give this 60-day warning. As terrible as this sounds, that's kind of like a saving grace for those employees because they're in a much better situation than the ones who woke up today with no job. The sad part is that these jobs are not being replaced by other humans. All of that money is being reallocated towards AI infrastructure and like data centers and things of that sort. You know, it's all going towards AI because that's the future. It just opens that broader conversation that, you know, we colloquially laugh like, oh my gosh, AI is going to take all the jobs. AI is taking all the jobs, and we're on like an upward trajectory for it to take way more jobs than I think we're prepared to see. I'm all for technology. I love the technological advancement that we're seeing, but if you take the good, you also have to take the bad, and the bad is what we're seeing with the workforce. Just tens of thousands of people losing their jobs, their livelihoods, and then possibly starting over. And it's not something that just affects Americans. This is a global consequence. And it's not just the tech field, right? We're seeing articles come out more and more now about the medical field even. So I don't know. I always used to joke and be like, oh, I wonder what the workforce is going to look like 10 to 15 years. I'm wondering what the workforce is going to look like 3 years from now. So a lot going
So yeah, man, perspectives, right? People's perspectives. Now, see what this young lady is saying, right? She see what she's saying. She now imagine tie that in with all the women buying houses and mortgages right now, record-breaking mortgages. But on the other side, those same women not accounting for mass layoffs. Is that not delusional? That got to be delusional as hell, bro. Mass layoffs, but you want to go run and buy the mortgage in this economy, right? Get a mortgage in this economy. Let me see if I can look up something with artificial intelligence and automation. AI and automation. Let me see if I can look up something. And we can get a insight on what they're doing with the robotics. I don't want to hear people talking. I kind of want to see videos. AI automation. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all joining. Subscribe. I gotta keep telling y'all. Let's look at some things that are being automated, right? Let me read these comments. AWB, yup, companies are laying off to raise funds to build out AI infrastructure and transition into AI. It's the new reality. And yep, you're 100% right, AWB. So let's go ahead and kind of view some of these things that are being automated, right? We're going to view some automation. All of this is connected, right? I'm trying to build the bigger picture for y'all, for people that might not get it, because there are people that don't understand the broader things. All of these things also tie back into the financial markets, right? And we're also in this debt system. And, you know, I'm just trying to tie it all together, right? I'm trying to use other people to tie all this together. So let's look at some of these things that are being automated. This right here, automation equipment. Let's look. I'm not sure what that is right there, but it's something that's automated. It doesn't.
So
let me keep going. What the hell?
So I would argue that control.
All right, let's look at this. UPS, right? So UPS, we just seen a video. UPS laid off 40,000 employees. So what are they replacing them with? Automation equipment, right? Let's check it out.
They already brought in automation on us already. Look at it.
So it looks like an automated forklift type of thing, or a jack lift. Automated forklift. What else is being automated? Bulldozers being automated.
Doing a pass automated, just one hand. So finger on the trigger, autos are engaged, pulling back. It's a ghost dozer.
Our new feature called Steer Assist helps to steer the dozer when you're loading it up, corner loading a machine, and it wants to drift off to the side. Steer Assist is going to help you go straight. You can almost come at a 90-degree angle to it, and it'll snap on and steer the tractor around. Keep that blade tip on that 90-degree corner and steer the tractor all the way around.
45-degree angle from that line right now. No hands. I didn't do a single thing but put it in gear.
Caterpillar 259 skid steer, compact track loader, GPS setup, and it has total stations. There's a prism here communicating back and forth. It knows where this is, like a runway, or you can grade indoors. Caterpillar 315 with an Encon. The cool thing about this is tilt rotator, new machine, and it has set up with 3D. All of the different movements do some pretty amazing things with this machine.
One of the big selling points is not having to move the machine around as much. Work this whole area, not having to move the machine.
Milling's not actually asphalt, but it's similar principle. Running off of a total station, and they'll use the paver running off of the total stations as well. That 1 millimeter of accuracy.
Doing a pass.
So pretty much like if I was
Doing
these
a
workers,
pass.
if I was these, they look like union workers. If I was these workers, I would be very concerned that, hey, they're about to replace your ass. You know what I'm saying? Even the UPS workers, they were union workers, but guess what? They're going to be replaced. They're getting replaced. So they're pretty much letting y'all test it out and showing you, hey, you about to get replaced. What else is automated?
Imagínate.
Automated forklifts, right? They no longer need forklift drivers.
Imagínate poderle ofrecer a tus clientes después de que...
They got machines that can count food. what? These machines don't get tired.
If you want to work in controls automation, this video is for you. So
warehouse automation that just makes sense. Autonomous mobile robots. Conveyor belts. Pallet wrappers. Goods to person picking system. Automated guided vehicles. Autonomous case unloading. Inventory tracking drones. Automated case, layer picking. All to make the jobs of our team better and safer.
The amount of gatekeep.
Let me see, man. Let me see. AI, automation. Y'all see it, right? Robotics, automation, AI, robots, etc. Let's look at the chicken. Machines, tools, factory, during. Let's see what they're doing to the chicken. Y'all still fans of chicken? Yeah, that's how y'all getting y'all chicken package, right? Just chomping it up, right? Let me see what else. Making clothes, right? You got machines making clothes? Crazy, man. Get your waist size and everything. Jay Manson, you said no more illegals for construction work no more? Yep. Crazy. Look, you got machines measuring your waist size. So when you get a new pair of pants, a fucking machine did it. Let me see. I mean, automation is getting crazy, right? You got people that's working day and night to figure this shit out. We already know the car manufacturers, they're automated. What else is automated, man? Everything is fucking automated. I've seen even more crazy shit. I'm gonna stop right there though, but it gets crazy out here, right? It's getting crazy. But what else can we talk about? What else can we talk about? Tying into the markets. I'll pull that up. Let's play this right quick. AWB. Maybe you got to identify as an AI agent or machine to get a gig in this new economy. Hey, you just might, bro. You just might. Let's play this.
Business leaders, meanwhile, warning AI could shake up the job market. Demand is surging for skilled trades like plumbers and electricians. Entrepreneur and CEO Daniel Priestley says blue-collar work has been devalued.
Blue-collar work has been devalued. And we've seen people who work with their hands and people who turn up to your house and fix your house in a devalued role. And it could be in the next, couple of years, these are the roles that are elevated the most and that plumbers regularly earn more than lawyers, simply because the nature of the economy has changed.
So Mike Rowe is here, CEO of the Mike Rowe Works Foundation. Mike, good to see you. So why are we seeing this surge in demand for the skilled trades in the age of AI?
It's math, mostly. 5 retire, 2 come in. That's how it's been in the skilled workforce for the last 12 years. We're aging out. There's a real demographic problem, both with just the graying of the workforce and a general population collapse. The other half are the stigmas and the stereotypes and the myths and the misperceptions that have conspired for a long, long time to keep a whole generation of kids from giving those exact jobs there an honest look. You put those two things together and then sprinkle the AI on top of it, and suddenly the crisis is existential. My foundation's been beating the drum for 18 years, but it really does feel like a memo has gone out to the C-suite. That guy is not alone. I just sat next to Larry Fink at BlackRock at an internet summit in DC. It was packed. Half the cabinet was there. And I'm telling you, if there was an alarm bell, they'd be ringing it. We got a $10 trillion infrastructure build on the horizon. We simply don't have the workforce to get it done right now. The grown-ups are paying attention.
It's a very popular thing on social media for moms to show them at home doing their laundry, cooking dinner, and saying, I've been told AI is going to take my job. Where are they? This is more from Daniel Priestley on demand for blue collar versus white collar workers. Listen.
Lots of young people who should have been plumbers, electricians and concreters and bricklayers went off and became got a master's degree in the mating habits of butterflies and, some random degree that doesn't have a job attached. And they ended up in $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 worth of debt to get this degree that no one was asking for.
So are people going to wake up to this? Look at the rising demand for jobs like robotic technicians, up 107%. HVAC engineers, up 67%. I hear about that all the time.
Let's take a look at this, right? Let's take a look at this. So blue collar work, blue collar jobs, blue collar jobs going away. But I know people that do HVAC, they do electricianal work, and they're making probably $300,000-$400,000 a year, right? Doing HVAC and electricianal work and plumbing. But nobody wants to do these jobs, but they're in high demand, which, to me, it's an opportunity for people who need to reskill. It's not just imagine becoming an HVAC engineer, a welder, or electrician, or whatever. I know it's work, right? But that people got to stop being soft, right? People gotta, especially if you're young, you got to stop being soft. You got to fucking roll up your sleeves. I know nobody wants to do this, but you can create your own business. You can be a contractor. You can do a lot with these skills. And imagine having these skills and also having trading in your back pocket, where you're always going to be able to fund yourself. Because guess what? You have a high earning career and you can fucking trade at the same time. So, or a robotic technician. So these robots that they're building, they're going to have technicians for this shit. So people don't want to do these jobs because yes, they're labor intensive, but hey, sometimes if you see people fucking crying in their vehicles, complaining about everything because of, they're fucking, they got laid off. Well, guess what's not being laid off? These jobs right here, they're pretty much AI proof for the moment, right? They're AI and automation proof for the moment. And there's a high demand for these jobs. But hey, I know it's hot right now. I seen an HVAC guy online somewhere in Texas. It's hot as hell. And he made like $30,000 in a month because that's how many people air conditioners were going out offline, right? It was going out. So if you know how to do HVAC, making $30,000 a month, you know what I'm saying, and you own your own business, I don't know what to tell you.
Huge demand as so many are renovating their homes in the age of not being able to get into a new one. Welders they need, electricians. Will people see this and say, all right, maybe that's for me?
Yeah. Look, the sad truth is sometimes things need to go splat before the country really starts to pay attention. But it's not like flipping a switch. People get the memo at different times. Gen Z's paying attention. They understand $1.7 trillion in student debt is held mostly by them. And they're looking at a guy like that making 130 grand a year with no debt, and they're doing the math. But it's like turning a tanker around. It takes a long time to change perceptions. I'll tell you this. We've been doing this for 13 years, our work ethic scholarship program. We award scholarships specifically to men and women who want to learn trades like that. This year, we got 10 times the number of applicants that we did the year before. And we have literally, at MicroWorks, set aside $10 million to help train the next generation of skilled workers. What I think you're going to see in the coming months is lots and lots of big companies funding organizations like my own and lots of others who are doing this important work. But it's going to be a groundswell. The entire thing, in my estimation, is going to flip. Also, what Priestley said just now, I said that exact thing 10 years ago and was basically patted on the head and dismissed as kind of an elitist. I'm not taking a victory lap. I've never been so sad about being so right. But the numbers don't lie. That guy right there holding that welding torch right now in certain parts of the country is making 130, 140 grand a year. Electricians in Plano, Texas are making 230, 240,000 working in data centers. I see them every day. I interview them all the time. and my foundation does what we can to train them.
It's an incredible story, and you're a huge part of that story. You can give yourself kudos.
So if you somebody who been in tech and being a software engineer and you're struggling because you got laid off, you might want to become a fucking electrician because hey, they make just as much money as some of these people, right? And there's more demand. So hey, I'm not the one. Hey, people gotta do what they gotta do. And these jobs aren't going nowhere because what? Data centers, power grid. You gotta aim for shit that's resistance, economic what I'm trying to say, recession proof, all of that, right? You gotta go for those type of careers, bro, in today's society. So Jay Manson, I see what you just said. You said AI doesn't want to be a barber, so I'm good. Well, Jay Manson, let me show you right quick. Let's go to TikTok right quick. Let's go to TikTok. And let's go type in robot barber. And let's see right quick. Jay Manson. Jay Manson, you think you out of the clear? Let's check it out, bro. Let's check it out.
Keep it in blue, Faith. Keep it in blue. And honestly, it's pretty good. If I was a barber, I might be a little nervous about this one. Keep it in blue, Faith. Keep it in blue. And honestly, it's pretty good. If I was a...
There's more, Jay Manson. There's more.
Stop it, Kimberly. Stop it, Kimberly.
Jay Manson, I think it's coming. Now, is it going to be as precise as the human touch? No, I don't think so. But yeah, they're working on it, Jay Manson. They're working on it. So yeah, man, they working on it. It's crazy, ain't it? They working on. They trying to literally replace everything, right? You said that fade was slick. They working on it, bro.
This machine might give your barber nightmares. It's not a vending machine. It's actually made to cut your hair. If you have hair, then hit like. It's designed to cut your hair perfectly without a single human touch. You just tell it the style you want, put your head inside, and a few seconds later, you get a fresh cut with no...
Now that right there was AI, so I don't believe that one. But I do believe that we're going to get to this point. Jay Manson. Now this might be real. It's coming. It's coming, man. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe, right? I know I've been all over the place tonight. Let's come back to the markets. Let's kind of wrap it up a little bit. All right, let's come over back to the chart. So I gave y'all that macro perspective with the bonds and the treasuries, the yields, and I told you about the dollar. I'm bullish on the dollar. I told you about oil impact. If we want to just briefly glance over like gold and shit like that, gold dropped down, took out liquidity. Let me zoom out from a higher time frame. Gold pretty much pulled back. I'm not going to give a deep analysis on gold. I pretty much got to sit here and analyze it, give a better look at it. Let me look at the weekly. 1 week on gold. Gold has retraced, right? It retraced into this. What is this right here in the chat? What is this right here? What is that right there? What is that right there? Gold has retraced into a SIBI. Gold might bounce, but I'm gonna stay bearish on gold for now, but I'm neutral on gold, right? Yeah, that's a SIBI. I'm neutral on gold right now, because it did a lot of selling off on some rapidly, and now it's retracing inside of this SIBI. Let me look at a 3 month. On the 3-month time frame, we still might be bullish, right? We still might be bullish on gold because look how parabolic it is. If it decides to really go lower, I mean, does it want to come back down to 4,000? It could, but I think they're going to still keep driving gold higher. What they did was there was a lot of traders in the market. They pretty much probably liquidated them out the market. And now, you know, it hit some key levels in here, took out liquidity. And now it's just kind of ranging. Let me go down to the daily. And what you want to do on the daily, you want to kind of give a 20-day range. Go to the left, 20 days. You might want to go out to 40 days. And for a 40-day range on gold, this will be my range from this swing high right here down to this swing low right there. Y'all let me know in the chat, is gold in the premium or is it in a discount? Let me know in the chat. Right now it's in the discount. It just traded into this BISI on the daily right here. Right, traded into a BISI. Yes, y'all are right. Jay Manson just made yeah, traded into a BISI right here on the daily. So gold is at a discount and it could come back up higher. If it decides to come back higher, it's gonna go up to a premium and it's gonna trade into this SIBI right here on the premium side. Take out previous week's highs. But right now I'm neutral on gold. I think they might want to kind of range gold sideways and it becomes a range bound market. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. It goes range bound. Same with silver, you know, similar analysis on silver. This is a daily time frame. This is the Dillon range from swing high to swing low, right? It's currently at a discount. And same thing, it's trading in the BISI. And I'm kind of neutral on gold and silver. I needed a little bit more analysis. I'm gonna have to sit down with it and kind of like deep dive into it because I haven't been tracking those markets for a few months now. Right after they made their move sell off, I kind of stood back with it. As far as the NASDAQ, you can see it rallying right now, skewed prices. But on the NASDAQ, it's trading up inside this weekly volume imbalance right here, or suspension block. That's a weekly suspension block right here. And it's kind of finding support, right? It's finding support. What is the dollar doing? Let's go look at the dollar. The dollar is just holding, right? It's holding inside of a consolidation right now. So as the dollar holds, everything else starts to become volatile. So I'm not really, you know, if I'm bearish on the NASDAQ, right? I'm bearish on the NASDAQ and the S&P. I'm not chasing any longs. I'm going to wait for a premium. I'm going to wait for a premium for the NASDAQ to want to short it. But as it comes up higher on the monthly, right? I'm highlighting this monthly level. Highlight this monthly level right there. This is a monthly volume imbalance. And if it goes higher, I can see it going there to offer some premium. If it goes there, I'm gonna wait for that to short it. I'm gonna wait for it to get up there, and then I'm gonna look for shorts. All right. I'm not bullish on this market. I still think it has room to come down. Now anything can change. What if Donald Trump and them find a deal? If they find a deal and something happened dramatically where all of that conflict over there, the Strait of Hormuz opens up, then yeah, stock market could push back up higher. But in the meantime, I'm not interested in longs in the stock market. I'm looking for shorts as a trader. Same with the S&P, same with the Dow Jones. If we look at Bitcoin, not Bitcoin. If we look at crypto, I'm still bearish on crypto. 69,000 Bitcoin right now, $1.34 XRP, XLM 16 cents, Ethereum 2100, XDC 3 pennies, HBAR 8 pennies. Still got a lot of discount. There's no volume in this market right now. There's no volume in this market. They pretty much drained this entire market with the volume. I want to say money has flowed into, you know, right now I think money is on the sidelines. All the money has flowed into the dollar. And now they're waiting to position themselves. The money has flowed into cash because there's uncertainty right now. And it might want to flow into crypto. It could flow into the stock market. We'll see, right? We'll see. Definitely it could be flowing back into gold because I am seeing gold kind of rallying right now. So they might want to be going back to the safe haven, which is gold. I could see gold probably popping up to a premium. And I think a lot of people might think that's a safe haven. Right. But other than that, man, I'm not going to do a deep dive tonight. If y'all didn't check out my course that I did last night, I go into more depth about intermarket analysis. Y'all come over here on my channel. Y'all look at the courses 2026. Y'all go through these series while I'm getting more technical, in depth. Tonight was just a perspective, macro analysis, looking at geopolitics and the economy. So that's all I pretty much did tonight. There was some more things I wanted to cover on X, but I might not have time tonight. I kind of went sidetracked. It's so much to talk about, by the way. So much to talk about. Before I get up out of here, let's look at Jamie Dimon, right? Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. Let's see what he has to say. This might be getting too long. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. It's already been long enough. I might say that for my next live stream. Because it's getting late, and I know people got work. People got to handle business tomorrow, so I don't want to keep y'all up all night. Let me see. Things that I missed. What did I miss? There's a lot of conspiracy shit. You know, I get into the conspiracy thing. What else? Here goes another automation video right here. 200,000 parcels a day without human workers, right, in China. So yeah, that's what automation is able to do. What else? A lot of stuff I didn't cover. I didn't do X too much tonight. But that's going to be it, man. I think that's going to be it. I'm going to be watching the markets closely tonight. I'm going to be watching them going into the week. Donald Trump gave them a deadline. And I'm going to close it. I'm probably going to close that out on this. Agenda 2030, right? I'm going to close it out on this. And this is what we living in right now. 2030, the secret agenda that they didn't want you to know about. They want you to control. They want to control everything, what you eat, what you think, and how you act. And all the videos that I played tonight, this is Agenda 2030. A lot of people are being controlled psychologically and mentally, right? And physically and spiritually, and on all spectrums of life. You see people breaking down, you see people crying, people struggling. This shit is real because there's an agenda that most people are not even aware of, right? People just think they living in hell. So I'm going to end it on this.
The lust to control other human beings is a story as old as time. There's a very strong drift in the direction of globalization, of the ultimate centralization of control in the hands of unelected officials at supranational organizations.
They want all of the resources of the world in their pocket.
The bigger picture is that an attempt is underway now to collapse liberal democracy and replace it with global technocracy.
This is a coup. They're saying we can control with rules. We don't need currency anymore.
It's like an inverted prism. You are supposedly free to roam about, but everything you want to access is behind lock and key.
The potential for social control is gigantic and potentially irreversible.
They plan to commandeer land, reduce farming, and radically change the food we eat, transform the supply of electricity, and then dictate how we use it, and replace currency with a system of credits. All three strategies are built on the premise of a climate crisis caused by carbon dioxide.
I do not think there's a climate crisis, and I base that on all the evidence and the climate data sets that we build to answer questions just like that. The government is very clear that they want a catastrophic story.
There is no single science paper that proves conclusively that humans control all or most of the global climate.
Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people, purposely deindustrializing Europe.
It's just tremendous amount of damage in the name of saving the planet. It does make you ask, what is it we're actually saving if we're paving it over?
I think what we're dealing with here is actually a global war on agriculture.
When you look at how many farms are selling out, we're walking into food shortages.
If I can switch everybody from real food to pharma food, then 100% of the agriculture industry can go through my publicly traded stocks, and I have complete control.
This is the biggest public relations scam in the history of the world. But it's far more than that. It's a blueprint. It is the action plan.
All life on Earth is going to be radically changed.
Everything will be monitored. The environmental consequences of every human action.
The general population cannot fathom the psychopathy of the vision that they're facing.
Once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity.
There y'all go, man. Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030. All right. Again, make sure y'all follow me on X. All right. Follow me on X. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If y'all want to tap into the Patreon, the link is in the description. I definitely appreciate y'all joining. You know, I'm gonna stick to this more macro analysis, and I'm gonna stick to the technical side, right? So appreciate y'all joining. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.